Hiya, Steve Smith here from stevesmithjewellery.co.uk. I'm just going to give you a quick show and tell about flame firing a ground pendant. This pendant's been shaped with a Dremel grinder with a diamond bit, and as you can see it's very dull, but if you wet it you'll see the colour come out. Well, that's what I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to well, I call it flame polishing. People polish things in the kiln, but I tend to find sometimes in the kiln the shape will change too much. So first of all, now you're not going to hear a lot now because of the flame, so I'll probably just shut up for a while. So I'm just going to warm it up slowly. As you can see, the flame coming in. Now the problem is, if you put the heat directly onto it, it will crack. It's called thermal shock, and it will crack. And all I want to do is warm it slowly, so it gets up to a good temperature, and then I'll come in a lot hotter and flame polish it, so all the small fragments of glass that are on the top become nice and shiny. It takes a few minutes, so bear with me. You'll see when it starts getting to a fairly good temperature, because the colour of the flame changes from a blue to an orangey red, and then it's just a few minutes after. Like I say, I don't want to do it directly on. I just want to slowly warm it, and this may crack. Sometimes it does, you know, that's just life. I'm trying to do it generally all over it, because you don't want to cause any fractures in the glass. Sometimes if you do get a very fine fracture, you can just fire it a little bit longer to fuse them together, really. But it's a judgment call. You know, I've had them flying across the studio before in two separate bits, burning holes in the carpet and my leg. But that's another story. So I don't know if you can. It's getting there. Obviously the very pointy end will take less heat. Now, can you see that now changing to an orangey yellowy with a flash of red, well, in my eyes anyway. So it's coming up to temperature nicely. So I'm coming in closer with the flame. I'm generally doing it mostly on the thickest part, the widest part, with some on the front, and you'll start seeing it in a very few minutes to go shiny, or like I say, to shatter. But well, here we go, that's better. You can see the colour coming off now. That's coming up really nice. So I'm coming in quite close now. The hottest point of the flame is the very tip of the blue. You know, you can go in deeper, but it's actually a cooler. You see, it's just going now. I can see it. I don't know if you can, but and it's just through experience I know how far to go, really, because, you know, I think the first couple of times I tried it, I stopped there and it cooled down, and it was still very dull. This piece of glass, by the way, is a piece of dichroic honeycomb etched glass, which I'm fitting into a sterling silver surround, and it'll be on my website at some point over the next few days. So it's getting there. I'm coming in now, I'm slowing down now. I want to get some decent heat into it now. As you can see, it's coming shinier and shinier. Obviously I don't want to take it too far because it'll misshape and then it won't fit what I've made for it. It's just about done. So what you have to do now, you see, if I was just to let this, take the flame off this and let it crash cool, thermal shock again, it will just shatter. So what you have to do, that's when I'm happy with it, which I think I am. I don't normally talk when I'm doing things like this. I'm normally concentrating on what I'm doing, so a man doing two things at once is quite unusual, really. Must be in touch with something. There we go. I think I'm happy with that. So as you can see, it's still got the orange flame. Now that orange flame is quite a nice indicator, really. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to slow the flame down a bit, cool the flame off a little bit. You'll hear it change tone. So now I want to get it cool, get it down to room temperature. But like I say, you can't crash cool this too much because like I said, it will shatter. So I've turned the flame down a little bit and I'm just gonna slowly let it cool just by touching it occasionally with the flame and coming off it. Other people have other ideas on this and they use different things, but this works for me and that's fine. I don't think there's a right way and a wrong way for crafting. Whatever suits the crafter, the designer, the time and the tools, really. This gas torch I'm using is just a kitchen torch, which is, they're wonderful. They're wonderful. But I've looked at getting a proper gas torch, but why? This works. So I'm just going to turn the flame down a little bit more. So as you can see, it's hardly making a noise out of the flame, and so far there's no cracks, which is good. So I'm just trying to cool it down at a nice rate, and once I'm happy with it, I'll take the flame off totally. So I'll just turn it down a little bit more. So it's hardly going now. It's keeping a little bit of heat in there just so there's no thermal shock, and we're almost there. As I mentioned about my website earlier, it's stevesmithjewellery.co.uk or .com, and you'll see this on there, and there's lots of other things. I make all sorts of jewellery for not only women, for men. I do tie clips, cufflinks, dichroic glass on leather straps. A lot of blokes wear those, and a lot of image pendants, you know, dragons, cats, butterflies. But have a look, and I think I'm just about happy with that. Now that's still probably around 300 to 400 degrees centigrade there now, but it should be okay. Yeah. So I'm going to stop at that now. So thanks a lot for watching, and I hope you enjoyed what you've seen. See you then.